welcome to the party. We've arrived, and we've been waiting for you for not that long. It's only five.
Just arrived.
You've just arrived. Now the party can truly begin. Welcome to the Island Shuffle. My name's Bean.
And my name's the Freak.
And together, we host this fabulous party that people come from miles around to come witness. They don't attend. They just bear witness to it.
You bear witness to it.
Yeah.
You don't drink the refreshments. You look at them.
You look at them, and then you look at the guests. You don't actually talk to any of them. You just kind of soak them in.
Soaks them in.
Mm-hmm.
Like a pickle.
Like a pickle.
Or a meat that's in a marinade.
Our parties have often been called the slow cookers of parties.
The slow cookers of the world.
The slow cookers of the world. Not like slow cookers.
No. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Island Shuffle, Heatwave Edition.
Heatwave Edition. We are, speaking of slow cooking, I feel like I've been cooking slowly. It's just sitting in my dang old apartment.
It is absurd. We're at about a week of
yes.
The craziest heat wave I ever saw.
It's a twisted one for sure. Hopefully by the time this goes up, it's cooled down a bit. But for now, we're roasting and a little loopy for it.
Ooh.
We've been roasting for a week straight on a spit. And you know what? I've had enough. I'm saying it.
Just barely enough.
This is the exact amount that is too much. So to beat the heat, nothing beats a random episode of Lost. That has no bearing on the previous episode or the next episode that we'll watch. So I figure why not watch this week, season 3, episode 4 of Lost, titled "Every Man for Himself."
Every man for himself.
Everyman for himself.
Everyman for no others.
Every boy for every boy.
Every gent for every gent.
This is you can see why people don't come to these parties and only bear witness to them.
They just soak them in.
They just soak them in. They just soak in the juices that we marinate ourselves in.
Wow.
So this is
true.
So this is an episode starring the protagonist,
Sawyer,
the one and only. It's been a while. It's been a minute. But he's back, and guess what? He's a con man.
He is a con man. He's still up to his old tricks. He is conning. He is canning. He is bopping people in the head.
He's popping people in the head, and you know what? That earns him a couple bops on his own head.
Yeah, it earns him a lot of bops.
A handful of bops.
It was a bop-heavy episode, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it was what is this? Popular music from the 50s or 60s?
Bop.
Cool.
Bop, Barbara Ann.
That's the only joke I can come up with right now.
Bop, bop, ba doo, bop.
Ooh.
Billy bop.
A lot
you
of
like that band?
That's my favorite band.
Okay.
What have they been up to?
Nothing. I don't think they are doing anything anymore.
That's too bad because I love them.
Yeah,
They're my favorite
I know.
band.
Shocking that you had no idea they were up to nothing.
I mean, I knew, but I thought maybe there was news. You know. I saw a really funny tweet once, and sorry that this podcast is just reading another person's tweet, but there was a really funny tweet once that just said, "When's the next Gotye single? I'm a real Gotye nut."
That's really funny.
It's funny.
I remember, was it you or who? Someone showed me.
Yeah,
you showed me other Gotye music.
Yeah,
and it was weird.
It was weird, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
One time my roommate got into, I think, that one, the one Gotye song about how you're somebody that I knew
but
sometimes.
You didn't have to cut me up.
That one. Well, back when that was hot, my roommate got into the album. Hot Yay, and
it still is hot, but not
hot.
that song.
Not that song.
That song is cold as ice now. No one listens to it.
This is a very roundabout way of saying there's other good music on that one Gotye album that my roommate liked to listen to.
I'm
sometimes.
not gonna say it's impossible, but improbable.
It's improbable, but it is. There's at least one banger of a song, and I forget what it's called, but it's good.
I liked it. When you showed me, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So if you want to be pleasantly surprised by at least one song, listen to that one Gotye album. I guess is the moral of the story.
Yeah. This is a show about Lost.
This is a show about Lost, just run by a couple of Gotye nuts.
Yeah. This was the long con, actually.
Yeah.
In honor of one of Sawyer's last episodes, we wanted to expose to you our true agenda, which was getting Gotye more of a standing in the current climate of music.
Bringing back Gotye. You know what? It's mid-2018. These are troubled times. And who better to voice the distress of the people than Gotye?
And I don't ever want to hear that one song again.
No.
It's about the other songs, though.
No.
There were 10 other songs.
There were loads of other songs. I hope Gotye's doing well. But you know who's not doing well? Sawyer. And Kate. Both of them are trapped in cages.
They are in cages with the others, and they are dirty as hell.
They are fucking sweaty, dirty, gross. They're washing themselves with a bucket. They're living in fucking mud. Their lives are shit.
Oh, it's not good. It's not good.
It's not good. Hey, fun fact. Here's a fun fact for you. I was cleaning up the tracker that we use to keep track of what episodes we watched and what we haven't. With this episode, that fills out a block of 6 episodes in a row that we've seen.
Whoa.
And that's the biggest
block.
Our biggest continuous block of episodes that we've seen.
Do you know what the biggest block of things we haven't seen is?
That I didn't check. I want to guess, I think, funny enough, mid-season 3 there's a big chunk. I could see also like mid-season 1 being a decent chunk.
I like season 3. Maybe we should do a thing where we just, from now on, we will watch episodes in a continuous order. And we'll stop after season 3.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of good to me. Fill out the good bits and then keep on, and then like keep the rest to our imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think that would be that would be fun.
And then once a week we can still come on and talk about Gotye.
Yes,
finally. That is sort of the whole point of why we started this thing in the first place.
Exactly. That's the end game. Is finally we can get our Gotye cast off the ground.
So, what do you say? Welcome to Gotye Shuffle.
We're
going to put Gotye's hit record on shuffle.
Yes.
And enjoy.
So they're in cages. They're living in cages. They're living their lives, and it's tough. But they're getting by. Sawyer, you see.
He's got an enemy.
He's got an enemy. And it's everybody who's got him in a cage. It's the whole others. No, here's what happens. They're kind of chatting it up, and then wee you, emergency! Someone dying is being rushed through this one corridor with the cages. The cages are outside, but constantly people are like running by.
They are the hallway of the world.
Exactly, they're the hallway of this island, I guess. So the cages. Bloody woman, dying woman. And
bloody woman, dying woman.
Bloody and dying. The two big things you look for in a bloody dying woman.
If you were British, you could just say she's a dying bloody woman, and people wouldn't even assume that there's any blood involved.
Exactly. Language is wild like that if you think about it. Words are like pretty trippy if you think about it.
I'm so high right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely too high to do this. Here's the deal. Sawyer loves to see this dying woman.
Oh yeah, he's into it.
He loves it because he's like, man,
we got one.
We must have done that. They don't shoot each other. Hell yeah, score one for us, the good guys. And Kate's like, that's kind of fucked.
Sad. I don't want that lady to die.
I don't want that lady to die, really. And so meanwhile, Sawyer comes up with a hot plan. In Sawyer's cage, which I don't think we've ever talked about, is this elaborate contraption where if you put a weight here and like press a button here and throw a thing over here, then you're rewarded with like bear food, basically.
It's a bear trick.
It's a bear trick because these cages were for bears.
Yeah, they are bear cages.
I don't know if we've encountered the polar bears. This is where they were.
Oh,
back
really?
in the day.
Okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
I didn't realize that.
I think that gets revealed sometime in this arc, or like alluded to at least.
These are polar bear cages.
These are cages that you would keep a polar bear in, except now there's 2 people in them.
Human beings.
Human folks. And so, with this, in addition to this trickle of food, we also get a trickle of water. And Sawyer has a plan. Sawyer's like, I'm going to let this water pool down, and then guess what? I'm going to grab whoever comes next. I'm going to when they're standing in the pool of water, and then I'll slam the mechanism, and then the jolt of the mechanism, the electricity will run through me and then shock them, and they'll be so stunned that we'll have the upper hand, and that's our ticket out of here, baby.
That's how I'm gonna leave the island.
That's how I'm gonna get the heck out of get the heck out of Dodge. And Kate's like, you know what? That's a not bad plan, I guess.
You're not an idiot today.
You're not a dipshit today. So along comes one Benjamin Linus.
Polly.
Benjamin Linus, nay Polly, comes through and asks very normal questions about how old Sawyer is and how much he weighs. Very normal questions that you ask every time that you meet a person in a cage.
And Sawyer is 35.
Mm-hmm.
He lies. He says he's 32 first, but he's 35.
A classic con man. Always trying to
always
con.
lying. Trying to get the upper hand.
He
weighs 180 pounds.
And speaking of upper hand, he thinks he's got the upper hand on Ben, and he grabs him when he's standing in the puddle of water, tries to shock him, and then Ben's like, "Hey, you dummy, we turned the machine off." And then bops him in the face, and then enters the cage and proceeds to pull out
the shit out of him.
He pulls out like a nightstick, like a little baton.
Yeah.
And like fucking
he
kicks the shit out of Sawyer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sawyer gets wrecked. Sawyer gets wrecked to the point of the scene ends with him just blacking out.
Yeah.
And then when he comes to, he's like strapped to what appears to be a medical table. And he's like tied down. He's screaming and hollering. Ben's there. Tom's there. 2 other randos are there. And they stab him with a needle. They stab him with a needle.
Giant needle.
A comically large needle.
It was the biggest needle that has ever existed.
And the best part is that the guy who's doing the stabbing says like some bullshit like, no, you got to get him in the sternum. Like in the movies. Like how they do in the movies.
Get someone better to do that.
Yeah. I guess, hey. Budget's short over here in other island, I guess.
Fair enough.
Over in the other station. So Sawyer comes to.
Wakes up, yeah.
He's got a little bandage on his chest, and Ben's standing over him, and he holds up a cage with a bunny in it.
You know how you do.
You know, like how normal people greet waking up people.
Hey, welcome. Here's a cage with a bunny in it.
To be fair, if that was how I was woken up, that would be great.
That's cool. Yeah. I saw a bunny yesterday and I was stoked.
Bunnies are good to see and pet.
They're nice. Yeah, I like them.
They're friends to you and me.
Yeah.
That's just true. So here's the thing. I would be happy to wake up to a bunny unless Ben does what he does right here, which is he starts shaking the cage of the bunny. And he starts screaming at the bunny and going, "Come on, wake up, buddy, go!
Time to go, buddy!
Let's go!
Jump around, buddy!
Go, hop around, woo!" And eventually the bunny keels over. And Sawyer's like, "Did you just kill that bunny?" And Ben like whispers, like leans over to Sawyer and says, "You ever heard of a little thing called a pacemaker? We put one in that bunny, just like we put in you."
Oh.
And guess what, buddy? If your pacemaker goes over 140 beats per minute,
it will blow your heart up.
It will blow your heart up. Big
Crazy.
move. Huge move.
Yeah, a cool move.
Big plot.
Yeah.
Big plot of Sawyer gets a pacemaker that is going to make his heart blow up.
It's what I want from stuff like this.
It's the exact kind of plot that Lost should have all the time.
Exactly. A blowing up heart from one of them, from the protagonist.
Yes.
That is tension.
That's how you create stakes. That's, a lot of people...
You blow up the heart and then you take the meat out and you...
throw it on the barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
Season it with some...
Montreal steak spice.
Some Montreal steak spice, baby.
Home of steak spice.
Steak spice was born here in Montreal.
Yeah.
Right down the road.
Right down the road.
Spitting distance.
On Boulevard Saint Laurent.
You walk down to Boulevard Saint Laurent, you run your fingers along the pavement, you lick it, taste that steak spice.
Yum.
I promise that if you come to Montreal and do that, it'll be good and you won't die.
Yeah, totally.
It'll be cool and fun to do.
Very clean.
In actuality, Saint Laurent is a hellscape, so don't do that. But go get some steak spice because it's pretty good. So Sawyer's sent back to the cage, and Kate's like, "What'd they do to you? What'd they do?" And Sawyer's just like, "They didn't do nothing to me. Quit asking. Get out of here, Freckles. Leave me alone." Wah. And Kate's like, well, listen, while you were gone, I looked at the ceiling and I saw that the bars of my prison are actually pretty big and I can get out of there if I want. I think that's probably a pretty good idea. That might be a way we could get out. And Sawyer's like, no, I think escaping's actually a bad idea. I love to be in jail now.
Fair enough.
And Kate rightfully suspects something's up. And
you've changed, Sawyer. You hated jail before.
You used to hate jail, and now you love it? I don't buy it, mister.
What are you, a nerd?
Damn it, Freckles. If I want to be a nerd, I can be a nerd. Let me rot in jail.
What did they do to you? You love jail, now what?
I'm gonna marry jail. I want to kiss and hug jail all day long.
I can't do Taco Tuesday.
Well, I'm gonna fuck this jail.
Yeah. And it's a real dialogue.
Real dialogue. In the midst of this, we also get a funny, like a funny scene, like a funny joke scene. So.
Oh yeah.
So to keep
a great joke scene.
Like a really funny joke, like a super duper funny one. So like they strapped a heart rate monitor to Sawyer's wrist. So he could obviously, because it's not like obviously he has to be able to keep track of his heart monitor if he's gonna know if he's gonna die or not. So if it gets too high,
140 BPM.
Yes, exactly, the perfect BPM for the perfect DJ
for the
set.
perfect death.
For the perfect death. When I die, ride me out at 140 beats per minute. Let that drop hit hard. So play my favorite Gotye remix. So God, oh my God, it's too hot.
Oh, it's not hot enough.
Oh, you're right. It is not hot enough. Let's turn up the
We're
heat a little bit.
We're
just getting cooking. Let's get nice and toasty in here. So Kate has been brought fresh clothes, fresh change of clothes. Kate says, Sawyer, turn around.
And you pervy old man.
Pervy old man. And Sawyer complies and turns around. And Kate starts changing. And we get a full shot of Kate's back. And Sawyer turns around to sneak himself a peek. And we hear a little.
The heart rate monitor starts going.
It starts going. Beep, beep, beep. And Kate goes, what the heck is that? What's that beeping sound coming from? And Sawyer's like, it's my watch is broken.
Damn thing doesn't work.
And Kate's like, you never had a watch. And Sawyer gets mad. He gets mad and then dumps a bucket of ice water on his head and then says, put some clothes on, damn it, to Kate. This is the episode where Sawyer almost gets so horny that he dies.
Yeah. Sawyer's own lust almost is the cause of his demise.
Imagine.
Oh, a world where that took place.
Imagine that.
That would be
scene.
incredible.
Think of the scene where we just see a shot of like Kate's back, then Sawyer making googly eyes, and then beep, 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 and then kabloom.
He drops dead.
He drops dead midway through the episode that also has flashbacks about him in it.
That's funny.
That's a funny thought that I like to have.
That would be good, yeah.
Sawyer got too horny, and it's like a funny horny. It's like a funny boner.
Funny horny death.
It's like a
funny horny death scene.
You know those classical scenes.
You've seen funny scenes, you've seen horny scenes, and you've seen death scenes.
And in Lost is a bold enough show to offer you all three for the price of one.
Totally.
One-stop shop. Meanwhile, while Sawyer's dealing with the heart rate monitor, Juliet has gone to Jack, who is also in prison, but far, far away in like a weird basement. Jack's like watching cartoons for a while.
Yeah, he's in a way better prison.
He's in a way better prison because it's indoors. They have a TV and they're just like showing public domain
weird
cartoons. And
yeah.
Sawyer's like the first scene we see is like slow zoom out of cartoons and then shot of Jack like angrily pacing.
Why cartoons? Why?
Why is this Swan Lake shit makes no sense to me?
Yeah.
Anyways, Juliet comes through and is covered in blood. And she says, no, it's not Sawyer's blood. It's the blood of a woman who's dying.
Incredible line.
Classic line. Normal.
The blood of a woman who's dying.
Just a woman who's dying. Her blood. You know.
You know, the dying lady over there.
You know.
She's bleeding, okay?
Listen. It's her blood. She's dying. What more do you want from me? And Jack.
'Cause I want something from you, Uncle Jake.
And guess what that is? It's to perform spinal surgery.
Well, it's not spinal.
Is it
gunshot surgery?
It's gunshot surgery. It's gun surgery. So they escort Jack off into the. I definitely try not to laugh at the fact that I just said Jack off there. That's pretty funny. Speaking of a funny horny.
The escort jacks off. Jack.
It's funny because his name is Jack, but then it's like Jack off, and it's like you can make that's a rich vein to go down, and I don't know if we have time to really unpack.
It might kill Sawyer if we go too far into it.
Exactly. He's gonna get too horny thinking about how Jack's name is also in Jack off. I mean, it's funny stuff, really, when you break it down.
Funny jokes.
It's like funny jokes. It's like a really funny joke that you like to hear and laugh at. So they escort Jack to the emergency room, and they try to perform the surgery, and they fail, more or less.
The lady dies essentially the second that Jack gets involved.
Yes, exactly. So it's a classic surgery scene. It's tense. And Juliet's nervous because she doesn't really do surgery, and it's all how surgery goes. And the way they end up dealing with it is they just leave Jack in.
They handcuff him to the bed with the body
and leave him in there.
Yeah,
wild move. And Juliet comes in and says some bullshit, and Jack says, "Hey, guess what? I saw some X-rays that had a tumor in them. What's going on? And do those belong to a certain Benjamin Linus by any chance? And the wheels are in motion for that whole plot now."
Yeah, we know all about that. Jack saves Ben. He cuts a sack. He says he has 32 minutes to live.
He cuts the old 32-minute sack.
Yeah, exactly.
He speed runs Ben's surgery in 32 minutes or less.
We went over this already.
We've been through this. If you're a familiar listener, you know a thing or two about a thing or two and what happens next. But the main reason for this is that the lady dies, and the lady's husband is pissed off.
A lady dies, so a man can be mad.
Wow, Lost does it again, baby. Lost does it again. I don't even know if they named this lady until after she dies.
Until she's dead. I don't think they do.
Rough stuff, Lost.
She gets called my wife repeatedly.
Oh, like a funny Borat joke. Like a funny...
That's my wife.
That's my wife.
My wife.
And it's like a funny,
I've never seen Borat, but I like to say my wife.
I feel like that's the way to experience Borat, is to say my wife. I remember earnestly liking it back when it came out, and I dread the prospect of ever returning to it. That is certainly... I definitely have had a nightmare about rewatching Borat and finding out that it's even worse than you remember it being.
Yeah, just nuts.
Yeah. Anyways, enough about Borat. We'll save that for our Borat cast. Which will start up after our Gotye cast.
Yeah, totally. It's a couple casts down the line at this point.
Exactly. Because this has an end date, and we need to set up a runway for all our future podcast empires.
We'll share the Google Doc with you.
Exactly. We'll get you all in on the ground floor, and you can be a lucky investor in our handsome, beautiful network that is good.
$6.66 a share.
Cheap as free, baby.
Yeah.
Husband is pissed, and husband goes to the cages and starts kicking the shit out of Sawyer now.
Really kicking the shit out of him.
For the second
time. Crazy.
For the second time in the episode, Sawyer gets fucking monstrously beaten to within an inch of his life.
And that pacemaker is going on.
That pacemaker's going honky-tonk blues.
It's going honky-tonk blues. It's like... I got the blues.
Yes.
But I don't know how to channel honky tonk.
Only one person can channel honky tonk, and his name is Nicholas Jagger.
Okay. And that's to know.
just calling it like I season.
Good to know.
So, hey, listen. Hey, look at this. Guess what? While he's beating him up, he's screaming at Kate, "Do you love this guy? Do you love this guy?
Do you love this man?
Do you really love this this man? And Kate's crying and sobbing and goes, yes, I love him eventually. And then eventually the guy stops beating the shit out of him and puts him back in the cage. And so Sawyer's been beaten to shit. Kate's had enough. Kate's trying to make a break for it. And Kate climbs up to the top of the cage and breaks the lock on Sawyer's cage and says, like, I kind of forget how this scene plays out, basically.
I don't think she succeeds in breaking the lock.
Oh.
And Sawyer is just repeatedly like, I'm not running.
Yeah, exactly. Sawyer
and she gets bumped and climbs back into her cage.
Exactly. A pretty good line while he's climbing out is like, this is the scariest thing I've seen yet, is how whatever they did to you changed you so much that you're willing to just fucking sit in a cage and be complacent.
Yeah. That's poignant.
And so Kate climbs back into her cage and they're sad. And finally, midst of the night, Ben wakes up wee Sawyer and says, let's go for a walk. Yeah. Let's go for a stroll, you and I. And they start climbing a big mountain, and Sawyer's pacemaker starts going off, and he says, is this your plan? You're going to kill me by taking me on a big hike up a mountain? And Ben's like, oh, there's no pacemaker in you, buddy. You just got fucking dunked on, dude. Bada bing.
The con man gets conned.
I also want to mention there's a detail that we left out that I realized we should mention, which is that when they tell him about the pacemaker in his heart, they also say, if you say a word to Kate.
Oh, yeah.
If you say a word to Kate, we'll put one in her too.
Yeah.
And that's why Sawyer's being so cagey, other than
cagey.
Hey.
Oh. Hey.
You gotta love it. You gotta come here for the jokes.
Love it.
Yeah, welcome to Joke City. Population
12.
Population, there's 12 jokes, and we've almost hit them all. So strap in for the 12th joke ever, and get ready.
That's good jokes.
That's good jokes. Nothing but jokes here. So listen, Ben faked the whole damn thing. And the reason he did it was because the only way to get a con man's trust is to con him, or some bullshit like that. Literally. Sure. Okay. Why not? And the other reason he brings him out here is to show him that, hey, guess what? You're not on the main island. You're on a smaller island, roughly twice the size of Alcatraz. So even if you got out, there's nowhere for you to run. You can't go home. You're fucked, buddy. So this is
rough stuff.
It's rough stuff. It's rough stuff for Sawyer.
Yeah.
Sawyer truly gets decimated.
A bad night for Sawyer.
Decimated, humiliated, beaten up, stabbed, and degraded.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's not good. Not a good scene for that guy. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Sawyer's gonna have a bad day sometimes.
You win some, you lose some.
Sawyer sometimes has a bad day, and sometimes Ben just really ruthlessly kicks the shit out of him. Yeah. Also, before we move on to the island's B plot, I want to mention real quick that Ben also pulls out the bunny that he had ostensibly killed earlier and was like, "We just gave him a sedative. Don't worry." Which is good to me.
It's cute.
I like that.
They saved the bunny.
I appreciate that Ben is a monster who will be complicit in mass murder. But killing a bunny.
They didn't want to kill the bunny.
You can't kill the bunny.
A lady died.
A lady did die, but you can't kill a bunny.
A bunny didn't die.
A bunny did not die. This show values the lives of bunnies more than it values the lives of women. Is the takeaway from this episode.
Yeah, which
take that how you will.
Yeah. We aren't endorsing that.
I certainly don't endorse. Look, I love a bunny, but listen, listen up.
If I had to choose
between a bunny and a fleshed out female character, listen, I've got to go with the fleshed out female character every time. But listen, I guess that's why I'm not a major showrunner.
I think that is the real problem.
That's why I'm but a humble podcaster. So we also get a plot where Desmond, last time we saw Desmond, he was kind of living it up.
He was on a bender.
He was deep in the hole. He was deep at the bottom of a bottle. And what do you find at the bottom of that bottle? Another bottle. And so it went for him for a bit. But now he's wearing a blue shirt that's not even buttoned all the way up.
He's cute.
He's looking fucking hot. He's looking hot as the dickens. And he's
acting weird.
He's acting a little He's acting. Look, I've seen some weird stuff on this island, but this Desmond guy, he's acting like a bit of a weirdo.
He is trying to fix a roof.
Yes, and he walks up to them and he's like, "Let me fix."
Claire and Charlie and the baby.
And he says, "Let me fix your roof." And Charlie's like, I can fix the roof myself. I'm pretty handy. And Desmond's like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck off now." Next scene is Desmond walks up to a man who we haven't heard from for a hot minute.
It's Paolo.
It's Paolo, baby.
Our good friend, the real character in the show.
The real human being who's a real character in the show, whose name is Paolo, and we all like to hear from him. He's golfing into the ocean, and Desmond walks up and says, "Hey, can I borrow a golf club?" And Paolo says, "Sure."
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? And Desmond gives him some golf advice, and Paolo's like, "Thanks for the advice, guy."
I'll get my episode in 2 days and then disappear forever.
And that's the scene. That's Paolo going for a golf. And so then we cut to a big tower with a golf club at the top of it. And Hurley
cracks a wise.
Hurley, here's the final 12th joke. Here's the 12th joke. We found it. And Hurley says it, and he looks at this big tower with a golf club at the top, and he said, "Is that supposed to be art?" And we all have a funny laugh at the funny joke. funny stuff.
Art.
And these days, I go to the museum. I think I'm gonna see a painting, but I see a golf club on the top of the stick.
I see a big thing. I don't even know what it is.
This one guy signed his name on a freaking urinal, and I'm thinking, what the? I paid this. Is what the art of this? You call this art?
Who's this Bank C guy?
Oh, the only bank I see is Canadian International Bank of Commerce.
Oh, Kibka.
Yeah, Kibka, baby.
Kibka for life.
Shout out to CIBC, my bank.
My bank.
Your bank too?
No, I've never walked in.
Oh, well, you should consider walking in. They're our sponsors this week, I guess. Them and Gotye.
Sponsored by CIBC.
Oh, CIBC is
the CBC.
We need to get out of this hole because I'm gonna stay letters forever if I don't.
Okay, you're listening to the Island Shuffle on the CIBC.
You're listening to Island Shuffle, airing on CBC Radio 1 and
CIBC Radio 1.
And listen, hey, guess what? It's not art, buddy.
It's a lightning rod.
It's a lightning rod. And Desmond's just like, "Hey, wait, Hurley, you're going to want to see this crazy shit." And lightning strikes it. And Charlie looks at it and goes, "Well, that's pretty fucking creepy." And and Hurley looks at it and goes, "Wow, this is weird." I really like the world where Desmond goes from openly berating Claire for having a baby to building a lightning rod to save Claire's baby.
Totally.
It's really good.
He is he's a nutter.
It's character development, baby.
He was a drunk, now he is a skunk.
This is like the introduction of Desmond seeing the future, and we don't really know what's going. Like, obviously, you and I know what's.
They
going
will
on.
reveal probably next episode.
Exactly,
that's what's going on.
Exactly. So, what do you say we talk about Sawyer's tremendous past?
The flashback is incredible in this episode.
The flashback is really something. Well,
so
listen, Sawyer's been spending some time in some cages, right? Well, this isn't his first time in a cage.
He was a jail boy.
He went to jail for crimes.
He was a jailbird.
He was a jail
for scamming that lady.
Remember in the very first episode that we ever watched when he scammed that lady? Well, now he's doing time for that very crime.
He's doing time for it. 6 years and 9 months.
6 years and 9 months. And honestly, 69, pretty funny.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's what we were all hoping for. Was 69. And we got it. It was not bad.
Finally. Honestly, every time I watch this wretched show, they never say 69.
There's never any 69.
And I am exasperated and exhausted. I'm brought to my knees saying, "When's the funny number?
When is it coming? So many numbers, no 69.
Yeah, 4, 8, 15, boo, fucking
23, 42, 69.
Like a funny number.
The funny number.
The funny 12th joke.
So he's in jail.
He's in jail. He's boxing in prison. There's a new guy in prison. And he's this kind of like small little pudgy-looking guy.
Twerp.
He's a twerpy-looking dude. And they're like, hey, you hear about this guy? He got arrested for defrauding the government for $10 million. Well, I bet, wonder, that's pretty crazy, huh? Well, oh well.
This was a good conversation.
Love to talk to you, my friend in prison. So Sawyer decides, I got a little idea. I'm going to walk up to this guy and say...
Sawyer is a real showboat.
Sawyer walks up to this guy, makes a real show of it, does like a big strut, does a backflip, and says, hey,
howdy, hey, guy.
Hey, ladies and germs, why don't you saddle up and listen to me? I'm Sawyer, and I got something to tell you. And that's, guess what? And he basically says, like, you know what? It seems like you've only been here a week, and the warden's already breaking up fights for you. You know what that means? The warden wants your $10 million.
He's gunning for it.
And if he gets it, I'm going to be sad because I hate that warden. And then we see the warden. And the warden comes in. He's this big guy, sleepy eyes.
He has, I think the warden's look is incredible.
The warden has...
Giant man. His eyes are sunk so far into his head.
The warden is a powerful presence.
He always wears this crazy suit.
Always wears a big suit.
He's eating an apple.
And he walks up to Ford and just gives him some shit. He just says, hey, James, don't go bothering this man because you know what? One phone call is all it takes to make your life hell. And then he throws the apple on the ground. Half eaten. There's plenty of apple left. Far from done. Far from done. But listen, he says, why don't you pick up that trash to Sawyer, and then walks away.
So the warden is bad. And him and Sawyer don't get along.
They do not get along. Next scene is visiting hours, buddy. Guess what? Hey, remember that lady Sawyer conned? Her name is Cassidy. I had to look it up because I forgot.
Yeah.
But guess what? Everyone's favorite side character of Cassidy, who gets conned by Sawyer and then just helps Kate commit more fraud and crimes.
Well, pregnant
later.
with Sawyer's baby.
No, this is post-pregnancy.
This is post-birth?
We see this birth in this episode. Oh no, that's right. We've seen because Cassidy helps Kate in the past and also in the future.
Yeah,
which is great.
They're best of friends.
They're best friends.
Kate loves Sawyer's
Ex.
love interest that
convictim
carries his child.
Yes. So Cassidy's visiting Sawyer. And Sawyer's like, I don't want to see the person who pressed charges against me.
You put me in this lockup jail.
What the heck do you want about a little old me? You want money? I don't have any here in prison. And
Do you want money? I don't have any here in prison.
Classic sentence that you love to say. Cassidy says, listen, I have a daughter, and it's your daughter. And here's a pic of her. Here she is. Her name is Clementine. And Sawyer's immediately like, "You're faking this so that you can extort, so that you can con me. I taught you how to long con, and now you're trying to long con me. No sirree, Bobby. I don't have a daughter, and you can get the heck out of here." And of course, you and I both know that daughter is very real.
Oh, it's Sawyer's daughter.
It's Sawyer's daughter.
It's Sawyer's flesh and blood.
Sawyer's flesh and blood. Next scene is that guy. What's his name? His name is like Munsum?
I don't remember at all. He is the most generic character in the world.
It literally sounds like mumbling. So Mumbly comes through and says, "Okay, I've changed my mind. I want you to like if that warden gets my money, I'm going to be sad, so I want you to take it and hide it.
You got to move it.
You got to move it for me, and there's a cut in it for you." And a classic con where it's Sawyer plants the idea, and then the guy thinks it's his idea.
Exactly.
And, of course, Sawyer does a classic, "No way, it's too risky."
I wouldn't want to do that, eh?
And then, but of course...
I need you to.
Of course, old Munchlax insists, and then...
Munchlax.
My favorite Pokemon, Munchlax. Insists and says, "Hey, what if the warden gets his way?" And Sawyer says, "Well, all right. I'll do it. Fine. The last scene we see, Sawyer enters the prison gymnasium. And who's standing there? But the warden.
The warden.
And a government
and his cronies.
And his cronies. And some toadies from the government. The federals.
The feds.
The feds.
The feds are there.
The nasty-ass feds are there. And they say, all right, you got the goods. And Sawyer says, the money's here. The money's in a car in someplace. And they're like, great, cool. As per our agreement, 6 years shaved off your sentence, and you're a free man
now.
And the final detail of that is they say, all right, we, as agreed, we'll set up your fee however you want. You name it, we'll do it. And Sawyer says, set up an account in Albuquerque for Clementine Phillips.
Aww. Sawyer loves his daughter.
Sawyer might have conned his way out of prison, but he also conned his way into a daughter having money.
Into our hearts, I thought you were going to say.
He conned his way into our hearts a long
time ago.
He's been
with
in
his
our
first
heart.
con, yeah.
His very first con was conning his way into our hearts, if you ask me.
I love that guy.
Love that guy.
Sweet little man.
Sweet little man. Sad episode of Sawyer's.
Yeah, he had a lot of heartbreak.
He gets very little victories except for that one, I guess.
At the end,
except
which is a big victory.
Big victory is definitely cheating your way out of prison. Can't be easy. But you know what? Sawyer did it to him.
He was born to lie and steal.
He was born to lie and steal. And that's this episode. It's a, pretty good episode.
It was awesome.
It's
fun.
Was,
good TV. If this is what Lost was, I would not shit talk it.
No, it's, a very goofy fun.
Yeah,
The idea of the stakes being,
the pacemaker is an awesome.
It's completely bananas and 800 times more bananas that it was just a fake thing.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that didn't go on longer than one episode.
Totally. Yeah, me too.
It's very
because
good.
Whenever they brought that up, I was like, all right, how does this get resolved?
Exactly.
And I liked that they were like, we're just joking.
It was just a funny prank.
It was a gag, buddy. Learn to take a joke.
We were just doing a classic Just for Laughs gags like we like to do here on Saint Laurent Boulevard. Anyways, that's that episode. Pretty good episode. I liked it. What do you say we watch another one?
I would love to watch another one. Let me just, I'm going to go on random.org here.
Random.org is my favorite website. Hey, you were asking earlier about what is the longest continuous episodes we haven't watched. I have that information right here. It's a stretch of 8 episodes in season 1, in mid-season 1.
Whoa, that means we could have some good TV coming up.
We have a lot of good TV waiting for us.
I went to random.org, generated, and we got 99.
99. Oh, it'll be a good one, but we'll see. This is 99. Okay, it's season 5, late season 5. Some like it Hoth.
Some like it hot?
Some like it Hoth.
Hoth.
Hoth, like the Star Wars planet.
What?
You know. Like the movie, like a funny joke. What if the movie Some Like It Hot but had a Star Wars in it?
Some Like It Hoth?
Guess who episode this is?
This is a character that doesn't really exist, right?
Yes.
That guy we like from the Dharma.
Which guy?
With the long hair.
Oh, Horace.
Horace.
I like where your head's at, but no, it's not a Horace episode. It's a Miles episode.
Oh, Miles! I'm into Miles.
Let's see. You want to see what Miles has to bring to the table?
Let's see his past.
It's fucking... Oh, boy. I'm ready for Miles, baby.
All right. I can see for Miles.
Listen, we've got miles to go before we sleep. So, all right. The end of the episode spiel. So, you can like us on Facebook.com/The Island Shuffle. And you can follow us on Twitter @Island Shuffle. We mostly just post funny screen caps of the episodes that we watch, and I like to say things over them.
They're good screen caps. You can see Desmond drunk.
You can see Desmond drunk. You can see Desmond drunk with a rifle. You can see Desmond drunk with a baby.
He's drunk a lot, okay?
He loves to slam one. You can also check out other podcasts on noisepace.xyz, which is the network that Matt kindly hosts us on, such as Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die. I just like to say that podcast name, so I'm going to say it any opportunity I get. Leave us a review or a rating on iTunes if you are so inclined, because I've been told that is apparently very helpful for getting podcasts, out there. We've been out here for a while, and so if you appreciate what you're hearing, show us that appreciation.
Give us that review.
Just leave us a little 5.
Let Apple know.
Let Apple know that this is a good podcast to listen to and hear. And I think that covers all the things that's the whole bit, isn't it? Okay, great. So let's wrap it up and say I've been Bean.
I've been James.
And like we say